Hello everyone, and welcome back to Native Flow English. I'm Sarah, your host for today. And if you're just joining us, welcome. I want to let you know that we upload a brand new English learning video every single day on our channel. We're here to help you improve your English skills as quickly as possible. In today's episode, you're going to be boosting not only your English listening comprehension, but also your speaking and writing skills. We're diving into a really powerful topic in this lesson, something that's going to help you build genuine fluency and confidence. We're talking about learning English fast and learning to describe anything in English. No matter what level you're at, whether you're a complete beginner or already quite advanced. We'll be using examples from real life and some guided practice to help you notice how native English speakers naturally talk. Understand the flow of conversation and pick up some really useful phrases. This will help you describe people, places, objects, actions, and experiences clearly and in a way that sounds natural. Whether you're answering questions, telling stories, explaining situations at work or school, or simply expressing your feelings in your everyday conversations, mastering the art of description is one of the absolute fastest ways to sound truly fluent. By the time you finish this video, you'll know exactly how to build strong, effective sentences step by step, how to choose the most precise and appropriate words, and how to speak with a smooth, natural rhythm. Before we jump into the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit that little bell icon if you want to be notified whenever we upload more helpful English learning episodes like this one. So grab a pen and some paper, and let's get started. When we think about fluency, a lot of learners picture themselves speaking really fast, without ever pausing. But true fluency is really more about clarity, self-assurance, and the ability to describe what you're seeing, feeling, and thinking. In simple, natural English, if you can describe the things around you, you'll never be at a loss for words in a conversation. That's precisely why we're focusing on description as the key skill today. Let's start with something super simple. Imagine you're sitting in your room right now. Look around. What do you see? Maybe you see a chair, a table, a cup of tea, or perhaps your phone. Now, try to describe one of those objects in English. If you happen to be looking at a chair, you might say something like, "The chair is wooden. It has 4 legs. The seat is comfortable. The color is dark brown. It is next to the table." See what we're doing here? We're using simple sentences to describe a single object. But when you put those sentences together, they paint a really clear picture. Now, let's practice this together. I'm going to say a sentence, and I want you to repeat it after me. The cup is white. Okay, let's repeat that slowly. The cup is white. Now, let's add a little more detail. The cup is white and small. Repeat after me. The cup is white and small. Next, let's add even more information. The cup is white, small, and made of glass. Try saying that. The cup is white, small, and made of glass. Can you feel how the description expands with each small detail that we add? This is the foundation of fluency, adding layer upon layer of description until the person listening to you can actually visualize what you're talking about in their mind. It doesn't matter whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner. The skill is exactly the same. Beginners might use simpler words like big, small, red, or nice. More advanced learners can use more precise words like tiny, enormous, scarlet, or comfortable. Both are describing things, just at different levels of detail. Let's take another everyday example. Imagine you're talking about your breakfast. You could say, "I ate bread and eggs." That's correct, but it's really brief. Let's describe it a bit more. "I ate warm bread and 2 fried eggs this morning." That's better, right? Now, let's add even more description. "I ate warm bread with butter and 2 fried eggs this morning at the kitchen table." Now, the person listening to you knows not only what you ate, but also how, when, and where. That's how you build fluency through description. Here's a quick little exercise for you. Think of something you ate yesterday. Close your eyes. Really try to remember it clearly. And now try to describe it out loud in English. Talk about the food itself, its color, its taste, its smell, the time you ate it, and the place where you ate it. Speak slowly. You don't need to have perfect grammar. Just practice describing it with more and more details. This is a simple but really effective way to train your brain to think in English every single day. When you are practicing describing things, remember that fluency isn't about speed at first. It's about comfort. If you can speak slowly and describe things clearly, your speed will naturally increase over time. A lot of learners try to rush into speaking fast, and they end up making mistakes or losing their confidence. But if you start by building confidence in description, you'll soon notice that the words start to come to you more quickly, without you having to try so hard. Let's think about describing a person. Imagine you meet a friend and someone asks you, "Who is that?" How would you answer in English? A simple, beginner-level answer might be, "That is my friend." But let's try to add a bit more. "That is my friend. He is tall and has black hair." Better, right? Now let's go a little further. "That is my friend. He is tall, has black hair, and he is wearing a blue shirt today." Each extra detail paints a clearer picture. And if you really want to sound even more fluent, you can add something about their personality. "That is my friend. He is tall, has black hair, he is wearing a blue shirt today, and he is always very kind and funny." Now, you're not just describing their appearance, but also their character. Let's practice together. Repeat slowly after me. "She is short." Now add a little more. "She is short and has long brown hair." Now, let's add again. "She is short, has long brown hair, and is smiling brightly." And finally, "She is short, has long brown hair, is smiling brightly, and she looks very friendly." Can you feel the power of description growing step by step? The same method works perfectly for describing places too. Imagine someone asks you to talk about your city. A short, beginner-level answer could be, "My city is big, but let's expand on that. My city is big and very busy. Now add a little more. My city is big, very busy, and full of tall buildings. Now let's add even more details. My city is big, very busy, full of tall buildings, and the streets are always crowded with people and cars. Do you see how this creates a picture in the listener's mind? Here's another exercise for you. Close your eyes and picture your bedroom. Now, describe it slowly in English. Start with, my bedroom is small. Then add, my bedroom is small and quiet. Add a little more. My bedroom is small, quiet, and painted light blue. Add again, my bedroom is small, quiet, painted light blue, and has a large window with white curtains. Add something about the feeling it gives you. My bedroom is small, quiet, painted light blue, has a large window with white curtains, and it feels very peaceful when I sit there to read. Every time you add more detail, you're training your brain to think in English with layers of detail. Another really important skill in description is using your 5 senses. Think about sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. When you describe things using your senses, your English really comes alive. For example, let's describe an apple. The apple is red. That's pretty basic. But let's add some senses. The apple is red and shiny. Add taste. The apple is red, shiny, and sweet when I bite into it. Add smell. The apple is red, shiny, sweet when I bite into it, and it has a fresh smell. Add touch. The apple is red, shiny, sweet when I bite into it, has a fresh smell, and feels smooth in my hand. Now, the description is really rich and powerful. Let's practice with me. Repeat, the bread is warm. Now add, the bread is warm and soft. Add more, the bread is warm, soft, and smells delicious. Add taste. The bread is warm, soft, smells delicious, and tastes buttery and rich. Add again. The bread is warm, soft, smells delicious, tastes buttery and rich, and makes me feel happy when I eat it. This type of description not only improves your fluency, but also helps you connect emotions with English words. Remember, the goal here is not to memorize fixed sentences, but to practice expanding your ideas naturally. Start small and add details step by step. This is how you can learn to describe anything, an object, a person, a place, or even a feeling. Here's a daily practice you can try. Every morning, choose one object around you. Maybe it's your phone, your bag, or your breakfast. Then, spend about 5 minutes describing it out loud in English. Each day, push yourself to add a little more detail than you did the day before. At first, it might feel a bit slow, but with time, you'll notice that the words start to flow much more easily. This daily 5-minute exercise can completely transform your fluency in just a few months. When you describe things in English, you're not just learning vocabulary. You're actually training your brain to think directly in English. This is one of the most significant changes a learner can make. Many learners translate in their heads from their native language into English, and that slows them down quite a bit. But when you focus on describing what you see right now, you don't really have time to translate. You simply connect your thoughts directly to English words. And that's the real secret to fluency. Imagine you're walking outside and you want to describe the weather. A beginner might say, "It is hot." That's perfectly fine. But it's pretty brief. Let's expand on that together. It is hot and sunny. Add a little more. It is hot, sunny, and the sky is clear. Add even more. It is hot, sunny, the sky is clear, and I can hear birds singing in the trees. Suddenly, you're not just giving a short answer. You're creating a vivid picture of the moment. Practice with me now. Repeat this slowly. It is raining now. Add more. It is raining and the streets are wet. Add again. It is raining. The streets are wet, and people are walking with umbrellas. Add even more. It is raining. The streets are wet. People are walking with umbrellas, and the sound of water is everywhere. This is exactly how you can transform one short idea into fluent English. Another example is describing feelings. Let's say someone asks you, "How are you today?" Most learners answer with, "I am fine," or "I am good." That's correct, but it's very basic. Let's learn to describe our feelings with a little more depth. Try saying, "I am good, I feel relaxed, and I am enjoying the quiet morning." Or, "I am a little tired, but I feel positive, and I am excited to learn new things today." Notice how this gives the listener a much fuller picture of your state, not just a one-word answer. Now, let's practice together. Repeat after me, "I am happy." Now add, "I am happy and full of energy." Add more, "I am happy, full of energy, and ready to start my day." Add again, "I am happy, full of energy, ready to start my day, and thankful for the sunshine this morning." Do you see how that grows into a fluent and natural response? Here's a little exercise for you. Each evening, take 1 minute to describe how you felt during the day. Say it out loud. For example, "Today I felt tired, but I was proud because I finished my work." Or, "I felt nervous in the morning, but later I felt calm when I spoke to my friend." This simple practice builds both your emotional vocabulary and your overall fluency. Now let's move on to describing actions. Actions are really powerful because they help you tell stories. If someone asks you, "What did you do yesterday?" a basic answer might be, "I studied." That's fine, but it's short. Let's expand on that. "I studied English yesterday at the library." And add a little more. "I studied English yesterday at the library and read a lot of interesting articles." Add again. "I studied English yesterday at the library, read a lot of interesting articles, and practiced speaking with a friend afterward." This turns a short answer into a real story. Practice with me. Repeat slowly, "I walked to the park." Now add, "I walked to the park and saw children playing." Add again, "I walked to the park, saw children playing, and sat on a bench to relax." Add more, "I walked to the park, saw children playing, sat on a bench to relax, and enjoyed the fresh air and warm sunshine." This is exactly how to practice describing your actions in detail. Here's another small exercise for you to try tonight before you go to sleep. Think about your whole day. Describe it step by step in English. For example, I woke up at 7, brushed my teeth, and ate breakfast. I took the bus to work, and I felt a little tired. At lunch, I ate rice and vegetables with my friend, and we laughed a lot. Do this every day, and your ability to describe actions will grow naturally. Remember, describing is not about having perfect grammar in the beginning. It's about expression. Even if your sentences are simple, the act of describing something step by step will push you to use more words and expand your English in a natural way. With time, your grammar will also improve, because you'll naturally start to notice patterns. Now, let's try describing experiences, which is a slightly more advanced skill. For example, imagine you went to a concert. You could say, I went to a concert yesterday. But let's expand on that. I went to a concert yesterday, and it was very loud and exciting. Add a little more. I went to a concert yesterday. It was very loud and exciting, and the band played all my favorite songs. Add again. I went to a concert yesterday. It was very loud and exciting. The band played all my favorite songs, and I sang with the crowd until I lost my voice. This is how you really bring life into your descriptions. Let's practice together. Repeat slowly after me. I went shopping. Now add, I went shopping and bought a new jacket. Add more. I went shopping, bought a new jacket, and it was very comfortable to wear. Add again, I went shopping, bought a new jacket. It was very comfortable to wear, and I felt happy because I found it on sale. Step by step, your sentence becomes a fluent description of an experience. Here's a practice idea for you. Once a week, choose one experience from your life and describe it in detail in English. Speak aloud for about 5 minutes. It could be a dinner, a walk, a movie, or even a conversation you had. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just focus on adding more and more detail. This is one of the fastest ways to become truly fluent. Finally, remember that describing is also about connection. When you describe something clearly, the person listening to you feels closer to you because they can really imagine what you're saying. This is why practicing description isn't just about fluency. It's also about building stronger communication with other people. One of the most useful habits you can develop for fluency is practicing descriptions of your daily routine. Your daily routine gives you endless material to practice with because you do so many small actions every day, and each one can be described in English. The more you describe your daily life, the more natural your English will become. Let's start with the morning. You wake up. A simple sentence is, I woke up at 7. But let's expand on that together. I woke up at 7 and felt a little sleepy. Add a little more. I woke up at 7, felt a little sleepy, and stretched my arms in bed before getting up. Add again. I woke up at 7, felt a little sleepy, stretched my arms in bed before getting up, and looked outside the window to see the bright morning sun. Step by step, the description becomes richer, and it starts to sound like storytelling. Practice with me now. Repeat slowly. I brushed my teeth. Add. I brushed my teeth with the mint toothpaste. Add again. I brushed my teeth with mint toothpaste, and the fresh taste made me feel awake. Add more. I brushed my teeth with mint toothpaste. The fresh taste made me feel awake, and I looked in the mirror to check my face. By describing your routine in this way, you're not just practicing words, but you're also connecting language to your actual life. Now let's try describing breakfast. You could say, I ate breakfast. That's pretty short. Let's expand on that. I ate breakfast and drank tea. Add more. I ate breakfast, drank tea, and had a slice of bread with butter. Add again. I ate breakfast, drank tea, had a slice of bread with butter, and enjoyed the warm, quiet morning at the table. When you practice like this every day, you're training your brain to think in English step by step. Here's a little exercise for you. Tomorrow morning, take 5 minutes after breakfast to describe your routine in English. Say it out loud. It doesn't matter if you're alone. Say, I woke up at 7. I brushed my teeth with mint toothpaste. I ate warm bread with butter and drank tea. Add as many details as possible. This is a powerful daily practice that will slowly transform your fluency. Now, let's move on to the afternoon. Maybe you go to work or school. A simple answer might be, I went to work. But let's expand on that. I went to work by bus. Add more. I went to work by bus, and the traffic was heavy. Add again. I went to work by bus. The traffic was heavy, and I listened to music on my headphones. Add more. I went to work by bus. The traffic was heavy. I listened to music on my headphones, and I felt calm as I looked out of the window at the tall buildings. This is exactly how to practice describing your actions in detail. Repeat with me now. I studied English. Add more. I studied English and read an article about travel. Add again. I studied English, read an article about travel, and wrote down 10 new words in my notebook. Add again. I studied English, read an article about travel, wrote down 10 new words in my notebook, and practiced speaking them aloud slowly. This is how you turn a short activity into fluent English practice. Now, let's practice the evening routine. A basic sentence might be, I had dinner. Let's expand on that. I had dinner with my family. Add more. I had dinner with my family, and we ate rice and chicken. Add again. I had dinner with my family. We ate rice and chicken, and we talked about our day. Add more. I had dinner with my family. We ate rice and chicken, talked about our day, and laughed together at the funny stories my brother told. This is not only practicing description, but also practicing storytelling. Here's another exercise for you. Each evening, take your phone, press record, and speak in English for 3 minutes describing your day. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just speak. Later, you can listen again and notice new words you could add. This kind of self-practice is one of the fastest ways to build fluency because you're describing real life in your own words. Now, let's talk about describing objects in more depth. When you describe an object, Start with the basic shape and color. Then add details about its size, texture, and use. For example, let's describe a phone. My phone is black. That's simple. Add more. My phone is black and rectangular. Add again. My phone is black, rectangular, and has a smooth screen. I add again. My phone is black, rectangular, has a smooth screen, and it feels cold when I touch it in the morning. Add function. My phone is black, rectangular, has a smooth screen, feels cold when I touch it in the morning, and I use it to call my friends and check messages. This way of describing gives a pretty complete picture. Practice with me now. Repeat slowly. The table is wooden. Add more. The table is wooden and brown. Add again. The table is wooden, brown, and heavy. Add again. The table is wooden, brown, heavy, and it has 4 strong legs. Add more. The table is wooden, brown, heavy, has 4 strong legs, and I use it every evening to eat dinner with my family. This step-by-step expansion is exactly what makes your English sound fluent. Here's a practice challenge for you. Choose 5 objects in your home today. For each one, say at least 5 sentences to describe it. It could be your chair, your shoes, your fridge, your pen, or your bag. Start simple, then add more. The more you practice this, the faster your fluency will grow. Finally, let's talk about describing memories. Memories are powerful because they connect past experiences to the present. For example, you could say, I remember my birthday. That's simple. Add more. I remember my birthday last year. Add again. I remember my birthday last year when my friends surprised me with a cake. Add more. I remember my birthday last year when my friends surprised me with a cake. We laughed together, and I felt very happy and thankful. Memories are full of emotion, and describing them in English will help you sound more natural and expressive. Here's a short practice for us to do together. Repeat slowly. I remember my school days. Add more. I remember my school days and my teachers. Add again. I remember my school days, my teachers, and my classmates. Add again. I remember my school days, my teachers, my classmates, and the times we played games in the yard. Add more. I remember my school days, my teachers, my classmates, the times we played games in the yard, and the happy feeling of running freely under the sun. This is how description brings memories alive in English. As you grow in your ability to describe things, one powerful tool you can add is comparison, comparing one thing to another. This really helps you sound more natural, colorful, and even poetic when you speak. For example, if you want to describe the sky, you could say, the sky is blue. That is correct, but it's pretty simple. If you use a comparison, you could say, the sky is as blue as the ocean, or the sky is like a big, soft blanket over the city. Suddenly your description becomes much more interesting and expressive. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. The night was dark. Now add a comparison. The night was dark like ink on paper. Add again. The night was dark like ink on paper. And the stars looked like tiny diamonds scattered above me. Can you feel how this creates a much stronger image in your mind? That is the power of comparison. Now let's practice describing emotions with comparisons. Instead of just saying, I was happy, try, I was as happy as a child opening a gift. Instead of saying, I was tired, try, I was as tired as a traveler carrying a heavy bag all day. These comparisons not only make your English stronger, they also help listeners connect with you emotionally. Here's a quick exercise for you. Choose one feeling you had today. Write it down in English. Then, think of something you can compare it to. For example, I felt nervous like a student before an exam. Or, I felt relaxed like a cat sleeping in the sun. Practicing this will make your descriptions more vivid and fluent. Another advanced technique is using metaphors. A metaphor is when you describe something as if it is something else. For example, instead of saying, he is very fast, you can say, he is a rocket on the field. Or instead of saying, she is very smart, you can say, she is a walking library. These phrases make your English sound really colorful and natural. Let's try some together. Repeat after me. Time is money. My heart is a drum when I am nervous. The classroom was a complete madhouse, a real zoo. These kinds of metaphors are frequently used by native speakers, and mastering them can really elevate your descriptive skills. Now, let's circle back to describing places. But this time, we'll delve a bit deeper. Picture this. You want to paint a picture of a park. A simple, basic description might be, the park is big and green. But let's build on that, shall we? We can say, the park is big, green, and filled with towering trees. Now, let's bring in the senses. The park is big, green, filled with towering trees, and I can hear kids laughing and dogs barking. Let's inject some feeling into it. The park is big, green, filled with towering trees. I can hear children laughing and dogs barking, and I always feel at peace when I walk there. Now, that description has some life to it. Let's practice together. Repeat after me, nice and slow. The beach is sandy. Add a little something. The beach is sandy and wide. Let's add some more. The beach is sandy, wide, and the waves are gentle. One more addition. The beach is sandy, wide. The waves are gentle, and the smell of salt is in the air. And finally, a bit more. The beach is sandy, wide. The waves are gentle. The smell of salt is in the air, and the sunset makes the water shimmer with golden light. See how you can practice describing places with rich detail? Here's a simple exercise for you to do every day. Whenever you go outside, take a quick stroll and try to describe what you see in English. For example, the street is busy, the cars are loud, people are walking quickly, and the shop smells of fresh bread. By doing this, you're incorporating English into your everyday life. Now, let's move on to describing people in a more comprehensive way. Instead of just saying, he is tall, you can describe his clothing, hair, face, and even his personality. For instance, he is tall with short black hair. He's wearing glasses and a white shirt. His voice is deep, and he always speaks slowly. He's friendly, and everyone feels comfortable around him. This kind of detailed description paints a complete picture of the person. Let's practice this step by step. Repeat after me. She is young. Add more to it. She is young and has curly hair. Let's add another detail. She is young, has curly hair, and is wearing a red dress today. And again, she is young, has curly hair, is wearing a red dress today, and speaks with a soft, gentle voice. One more touch. She is young, has curly hair, is wearing a red dress today, speaks with a soft, gentle voice, and she always smiles when she talks to others. Each step makes the person feel more real in your description. Here's a challenge for you. Pick someone you know well, maybe a family member or a close friend. Take 5 minutes to describe them out loud in English. Start with their appearance, then their clothing, then their voice, then their personality, and finally, how they make you feel. This will help you practice connecting multiple details together in a natural, flowing way. Another way to enhance your descriptions is to focus on emotions and expressions. For example, instead of just saying, "She was angry," you can describe her face. Her eyes were narrowed, her lips were tight, and her voice was sharp. Instead of saying, "He was happy," you can describe his actions. He clapped his hands, laughed loudly, and his eyes sparkled with joy. These kinds of details make your English sound vibrant and impactful. Let's practice together. Repeat slowly after me. He was sad. Add some detail. He was sad and looked down at the ground. Add a little more. He was sad, looked down at the ground, and his shoulders were heavy. Add again. He was sad, looked down at the ground, his shoulders were heavy, and his voice was soft and broken when he spoke. See how this kind of description adds emotional depth to your English? Finally, let's practice describing events in greater detail. Imagine someone asks you what happened at the party. A short, simple answer would be, "It was fun." But let's expand on that. The party was fun, and there was music. Add more to the description. The party was fun, there was music, and people were dancing. Add again. The party was fun, there was music, people were dancing, and the lights were bright and colorful. Add even more. The party was fun. There was music. People were dancing. The lights were bright and colorful. And I laughed with my friends until midnight. This kind of detailed description brings the event to life for the listener. Here's a practice idea for you. Once a week, pick an event you attended, like a meal, a walk, a game, or a meeting, and describe it in as much detail as possible in English. Include the people, the place, the actions, the sounds, and your feelings. This exercise will help you learn to tell stories in English with confidence. Storytelling is one of the most effective ways to practice description because it connects everything you've learned: people, places, actions, feelings, and details. When you tell a story, you're not only describing, but also organizing your ideas, building a rhythm, and creating interest for your listener. This makes your English sound natural and fluent. Even if your vocabulary is simple, Let's start with a very short story and then build it together. Yesterday, I went to the market. That's the beginning. Now let's add some details. Step by step. Yesterday, I went to the market to buy vegetables. Add again. Yesterday, I went to the market to buy vegetables, and it was very crowded with people. Add again. Yesterday, I went to the market to buy vegetables. It was very crowded with people, and the smell of fresh bread filled the air from the bakery. Add more. Yesterday, I went to the market to buy vegetables. It was very crowded with people. The smell of fresh bread filled the air from the bakery, and I stopped to talk with a friendly old man selling apples. Now you can see how a short sentence can grow into a full story. Let's practice together. Repeat slowly after me. This morning I went for a walk. Add more. This morning I went for a walk in the park. Add again. This morning I went for a walk in the park, and the air was cool and fresh. Add again. This morning I went for a walk in the park. The air was cool and fresh, and I saw children running and playing football. Add more. This morning I went for a walk in the park. The air was cool and fresh. I saw children running and playing football, and I felt relaxed as I listened to the sound of birds in the trees. This is storytelling through description. Here's an exercise for you. Every day, choose one small story from your life and tell it in English. It doesn't need to be dramatic or big. It could be as simple as I cooked dinner or I met a friend. Start small, then add place, time, people, feelings, and actions. If you practice this daily, you'll soon notice that you can speak for longer periods of time without pausing or translating in your head. Another important skill is connecting your sentences with linking words. Instead of stopping after every sentence, you can join them to make your English flow more smoothly. For example, instead of saying, I went to the cafe, I drank coffee, I read a book, you can say, I went to the cafe where I drank coffee and read a book while sitting by the window. On linking words like and, but, because, so, while, when, after, and before will help you connect your ideas. Let's practice with some linking words now. Repeat after me. I was tired, but I finished my work. I stayed home because it was raining. I listened to music while I cooked dinner. I smiled when my friend called me. Notice how each sentence has a smoother flow with these words. Here's a mini exercise for you. Take one short description and add a linking word. For example, start with, I watched a movie. Add, I watched a movie and ate popcorn. Add again, I watched a movie and ate popcorn while my brother played games. Add again, I watched a movie and ate popcorn while my brother played games. And later we talked about our favorite characters. Linking makes your sentences longer, richer, and more fluent. Now, let's try storytelling with emotions included. Imagine you want to tell a story about meeting a friend. A short version is, I met my friend. Expand it. I met my friend at a cafe. Add feelings. I met my friend at a cafe. and I felt excited because we hadn't seen each other for a long time. Add details. I met my friend at a cafe. I felt excited because we hadn't seen each other for a long time. And we laughed as we shared our stories. Add atmosphere. I met my friend at a cafe. I felt excited because we hadn't seen each other for a long time. We laughed as we shared our stories, and the sound of soft music in the background made the moment even more special. Do you see how emotions and atmosphere give life to the story? Let's practice together now. Repeat slowly. I visited my grandmother. Add more. I visited my grandmother, and she cooked my favorite meal. Add again. I visited my grandmother. She cooked my favorite meal, and I felt warm and happy at her house. Add again. I visited my grandmother. She cooked my favorite meal. I felt warm and happy at her house, and we talked for hours about her childhood stories. This kind of description makes your English more personal and impactful. Another useful practice is shadowing stories. Listen to a short story in English. Repeat it sentence by sentence, and then try to retell the story in your own words. This exercise helps you train your memory, your speaking rhythm, and your ability to describe. For example, listen to, I went shopping and bought a red jacket. Repeat, then try retelling it with your own words. Yesterday, I went shopping, and I found a beautiful red jacket on sale. Even changing small details helps your fluency grow. Now let's try a guided story together. Imagine it's evening, and you're walking home. Repeat slowly after me. I walked home in the evening. Add more. I walked home in the evening, and the sky was turning orange with the sunset. Add again. I walked home in the evening. The sky was turning orange with the sunset, and the air felt cool after a long, hot day. Add again. I walked home in the evening. The sky was turning orange with the sunset. The air felt cool after a long, hot day. And I passed by a bakery where the smell of fresh bread made me hungry. Add more. I walked home in the evening. The sky was turning orange with the sunset. The air felt cool after a long, hot day. I passed by a bakery where the smell of fresh bread made me hungry, and I felt peaceful as I finally reached my door. This shows how small details build a complete story with atmosphere, senses, and emotions. Here's a challenge for you. Before sleeping tonight, take 5 minutes to tell yourself the story of your whole day in English. Start from the moment you woke up until the moment you're going to bed. Don't stop. Don't translate. Just describe in English. Even if your sentences are simple, the act of speaking continuously will train your fluency. Remember, storytelling isn't only for big events like trips or parties. Even the smallest everyday actions can be turned into a story. When you add description, this practice will prepare you for real conversations because, in daily life, people often ask, "What did you do today?" Or, "How was your weekend?" If you can answer with a short story full of details, you'll sound fluent and confident. Fluency in English isn't just about describing the past and the present. It's also about describing the future. When you can talk about your plans, your dreams, and your imagination, You give yourself the freedom to express more than just what has already happened. You begin to share your hopes and ideas. And this is a big step toward sounding natural and confident. Let's start simple. A short future tense sentence might be, I will study tomorrow. That's correct, but very basic. Let's expand it. I will study tomorrow morning. Add more. I will study tomorrow morning at the library. Add again. I will study tomorrow morning at the library, and I plan to review 5 new chapters of my book. Add more. I will study tomorrow morning at the library. I plan to review 5 new chapters of my book, and afterward, I will meet my friend for lunch. See how describing your plan with details creates a clear picture of the future? Let's practice together now. Repeat slowly. I will travel next week. Add more. I will travel next week to another city. Add again. I will travel next week to another city and stay with my cousin. Add more. I will travel next week to another city, stay with my cousin, and explore new restaurants together. Add again. I will travel next week to another city, stay with my cousin, explore new restaurants together, and take many pictures to remember the trip. This is how to describe future plans in fluent English. Here's an exercise for you. Each morning, take 2 minutes to say aloud in English what you plan to do that day. For example, today I will go to work. I will meet my friend. I will cook pasta for dinner. And I will read my English notes before bed. It doesn't matter if it's simple. The habit of describing the future will help your brain think ahead in English without translation. Now let's try imagining the future. Imagination is powerful because it gives you unlimited freedom to describe. For example, one day I will live by the sea. Add more. One day I will live by the sea and wake up every morning to the sound of waves. Add again. One day I will live by the sea, wake up every morning to the sound of waves, and drink coffee while watching the sunrise over the water. This type of description connects English practice with your personal dreams, which makes it more emotional and memorable. Practice with me. Repeat slowly. In the future, I will buy a house. Add more. In the future, I will buy a house with a garden. Add again. In the future, I will buy a house with a garden, and I will plant flowers and trees there. Add again. In the future, I will buy a house with a garden, plant flowers and trees, and spend evenings outside watching the stars. When you describe your future in this way, you create not only sentences, but also motivation for your English journey. Here's a practice challenge for you. Once a week, choose one dream or goal you have. Then spend 5 minutes describing it in English with as much detail as possible. Talk about where, when, who will be with you, how you'll feel, and what will happen step by step. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, the act of describing your dream will improve your fluency and give you confidence. Another important way to practice description is through imagination games. For example, imagine a simple object like a chair and pretend you're describing it to someone who can't see it. Say, It's a chair with 4 legs. It's made of wood. The seat is soft and covered with blue cloth. It feels comfortable when you sit on it. This kind of imagination practice is very useful when you're alone because you can practice anytime, anywhere. Now let's practice describing an imaginary situation together. Imagine you're on a train. Repeat after me. I am sitting on a train. Add more. I am sitting on a train and looking out the window. Add again. I am sitting on a train looking out the window, and I see green fields passing by quickly. Add more. I am sitting on a train looking out the window. I see green fields passing by quickly, and I hear the sound of the wheels on the tracks. Add again. I am sitting on a train looking out the window. I see green fields passing by quickly. I hear the sound of the wheels on the tracks. And I feel excited because I am traveling to a new place. This type of exercise builds both your fluency and your imagination in English. Another way to practice describing the future and imagination is to use what-if sentences. For example, what if I win the lottery? You could say, if I win the lottery, I will buy a big house. Expand it. If I win the lottery, I will buy a big house with a swimming pool. Add more. If I win the lottery, I will buy a big house with a swimming pool, invite all my friends, and travel around the world. Practicing with what if helps you prepare for creative conversations in English. Let's try a few together. Repeat after me. If I study hard, I will improve my English. If it rains tomorrow, I will stay home and read a book. If I meet a new friend, I will practice speaking English with them. These conditional sentences aren't just good grammar practice, but also a way to describe possible futures in English. Finally, remember that when you describe the future, it's okay to mix simple sentences with more advanced ones. Even if you just say, tomorrow I will cook dinner, that's a good start. The key is to keep adding more detail. Step by step, over time, you'll notice that you can speak about your future plans and your dreams more smoothly, with less hesitation. Another important skill in fluency is learning how to describe your opinions and ideas. Many learners can describe objects or actions, but they freeze when asked. What do you think? Being able to share your thoughts in English is a true sign of fluency. And the good news is you can practice this skill every day with simple steps. Let's begin with a short opinion. I like pizza. That's fine, but very basic. Let's expand it. I like pizza because it tastes good. Add more. I like pizza because it tastes good, and it makes me happy when I eat it with friends. Add again. I like pizza because it tastes good. It makes me happy when I eat it with friends. And I enjoy the smell of fresh cheese and tomatoes from the oven. See how this short opinion grows into a full description of your feelings and reasons? Let's practice together now. Repeat slowly. I enjoy reading. Add more. I enjoy reading because it relaxes me. Add again. I enjoy reading because it relaxes me and teaches me new ideas. Add again. I enjoy reading because it relaxes me, teaches me new ideas. and gives me a chance to escape into new worlds and stories. This type of description helps you share not just what you think, but also why you think it. Here's an exercise for you. Choose one thing you like and one thing you don't like. For each one, speak for 1 minute in English, explaining why. For example, I like walking in the park because it makes me feel calm. I can hear birds. I can enjoy the air, and it helps me think clearly. Or, I don't like waiting in traffic because it's noisy, stressful, and it wastes my time. Doing this every day will improve your ability to express your ideas in English. Now, let's practice describing opinions on everyday topics. For example, someone asks, "Do you like learning English?" A short answer might be, "Yes, I do." But let's make it longer. Yes, I like learning English because it helps me talk to people from different countries. Add more. Yes, I like learning English because it helps me talk to people from different countries. It gives me better opportunities, and it makes me feel confident when I can express myself clearly. This turns a short answer into a fluent one. Practice with me now. Repeat slowly. I think exercise is important. Add more. I think exercise is important because it keeps us healthy. Add again. I think exercise is important because it keeps us healthy, gives us energy, and reduces stress. Add again. I think exercise is important because it keeps us healthy, gives us energy, reduces stress, and helps us live a longer and happier life. By practicing this, you'll be able to share your opinions naturally. Here's a simple activity for daily practice. Each day, choose one small topic like food, travel, sports, technology, or school. Then spend 2 minutes talking about your opinion in English. For example, I think technology is useful because it makes life easier, helps us connect, and saves us time. But sometimes it can be distracting. Even if your sentences aren't perfect, this practice will make you fluent at expressing your ideas. Now, let's move on to describing abstract ideas. Abstract ideas are things we can't see or touch, like freedom, love, friendship, or happiness. Describing these ideas is more advanced, but it makes your English powerful. For example, you could say friendship is important. That's short. Let's expand. Friendship is important because it gives us support. Add more. Friendship is important because it gives us support. It makes us feel loved, and it helps us through difficult times. Add again. Friendship is important because it gives us support, makes us feel loved, helps us through difficult times, and creates wonderful memories that stay with us forever. This is how you build a fluent description of an idea. Practice with me now. Repeat slowly. Happiness is a good feeling. Add more. Happiness is a good feeling when something nice happens. Add again. Happiness is a good feeling when something nice happens, like being with family or achieving a goal. Add more. Happiness is a good feeling when something nice happens, like being with family or achieving a goal, and it fills your heart with peace and joy. Describing ideas like this improves both your vocabulary and your fluency. Here's a practice challenge for you. Once a week, Choose one big idea like success, love, kindness, or learning. Then speak for 5 minutes in English about what it means to you. For example, success means reaching your goals. It means working hard, not giving up, and feeling proud when you've accomplished something. Success can be big, like finishing a degree, or small, like learning a new word in English. This kind of practice makes your English more thoughtful and expressive. Another way to practice describing opinions is through agreeing and disagreeing politely. For example, if someone says, "I think winter is the best season," you could agree by saying, "Yes, I agree. Winter is the best season because it feels calm and beautiful." Or you could disagree politely. "I don't agree. I think summer is better because it's warm and full of energy." Practicing agreement and disagreement helps you sound confident in conversations. Practice with me now. Repeat slowly. "I agree because it's true. I don't agree because I see it differently. I understand your point, but I think something else." These phrases will help you share your ideas while being respectful. Finally, remember that expressing opinions is about being clear, not complicated. You don't need big words to describe what you think. Start simple. Add reasons. Add examples. And you'll sound fluent and natural. Over time, your vocabulary will grow, and your ability to explain ideas will become much stronger. One of the most effective ways to really boost your fluency is by practicing giving long, detailed descriptions of past experiences. Talking about things that happened in the past is part of pretty much every real conversation. People often ask questions like, "What did you do yesterday?" or "How was your weekend?" If you can respond with a rich, vivid description instead of just a short, simple sentence, you will immediately sound more fluent and way more confident. So, let's begin with a very basic description of something that happened in the past. Yesterday. I watched a movie. That's okay, but it's pretty short and doesn't tell us much. Let's expand on it. Yesterday, I watched a movie at home. We can add even more detail. Yesterday, I watched a movie at home with my family. Now, let's add even more again. Yesterday, I watched a movie at home with my family, and we enjoyed popcorn and drinks together. Finally, remember that speaking fluently isn't about achieving perfection. It's about being easily understood and feeling comfortable expressing yourself. Even native English speakers occasionally make small grammatical errors, repeat themselves, or change words mid-sentence. What truly matters is that you keep going and don't let these minor hiccups derail your conversation. Another way to describe past experiences is to use time markers. Words like yesterday, last week, 2 days ago, in the morning, in the evening, when I was a child. These words help you organize your story in a clear and logical way. For example, when I was a child, I played football every day after school. Or last night, I studied English for 2 hours and learned 10 new words. Using these time markers makes your English stories sound much more natural and easier to follow. Let's practice together now. Repeat after me. Yesterday. I cooked dinner. Add more to that. Yesterday, I cooked dinner for my family. Add again, building on that. Yesterday, I cooked dinner for my family, and I made rice and chicken. Let's add even more detail. Yesterday, I cooked dinner for my family. I made rice and chicken. And we all sat together at the table. Add again, including more detail. Yesterday, I cooked dinner for my family. I made rice and chicken. One technique that will help you sound more natural and authentic is mirroring. Mirroring involves consciously copying not only the words that someone uses, but also their body language, their tone of voice, and the pace at which they speak. Of course, if you're practicing alone, you can mirror what you hear in videos or audio clips. For example, if you're listening to someone say, "I can't believe it's already Friday," try to repeat it using the same speed, pitch, and general style. This makes your English feel much more authentic and alive, because you're actively learning and incorporating the small, natural patterns that native English speakers commonly use. Let's try a few quick examples. I'll say each phrase naturally, and then you can repeat it, trying to match my intonation and style as closely as possible. That sounds absolutely amazing. I honestly didn't expect that at all. I'm so excited for tomorrow. Try to mimic not only the pronunciation, but also the emotional tone behind the words. Another valuable habit to develop is being able to smoothly switch between formal and informal speech, depending on the specific situation. In a casual conversation with friends, you might say something like, "Hey, what's up?" In a more formal or professional setting, you could say, "Good morning. How are you doing today?" Being able to comfortably adjust your style shows that you're adaptable and aware of the particular context of the conversation. Here's a quick practice to illustrate the difference. You're informal. I'm gonna grab a coffee. Formal. I'm going to get a coffee. Informal. Want to hang out later? Formal. Would you like to meet up later? Practicing switching like this will help you feel prepared for pretty much any type of conversation you might encounter. Another great way to accelerate your fluency is to train your brain to fully answer both why and how questions. Many learners tend to give relatively brief or incomplete answers to these types of questions. If someone asks you, "Why do you like living here?" instead of simply saying, "I like living here because the weather is nice," you could elaborate by saying, "I like living here because the weather is generally pleasant, and there are plenty of parks and green spaces where I can walk and relax." Or if someone asks you, "How do you usually spend your weekends?" instead of just saying, "I usually spend my weekends relaxing," you could expand by saying, "I usually spend my weekends reading, going for walks, and meeting up with friends for coffee or a meal." By adding more than one detail to your answer, you're naturally speaking for a longer period and giving your listener more points to connect with. We should also talk briefly about the importance of pronunciation drills. Dedicate a few minutes each day to specifically focus on sounds that you find particularly challenging or difficult. For example, the te sound in words like think or this. For think, gently place your tongue between your teeth and push air out. For this, your tongue touches the same position, but you engage your vocal cords to produce a voiced sound. Practicing these small, often subtle sounds will make your speech clearer and easier for others to understand. Let's try a quick pronunciation drill right now. Just repeat after me. Think, thought, through. Now. This, that, these. Next, the tricky one. Thin things. Practice these words slowly at first, and then gradually increase your speed as you become more comfortable until it feels completely natural. And remember, fluency naturally grows when you combine speaking with active listening. When you're listening to someone speak English, pay close attention to the specific phrases that they use, and then consciously try to incorporate those phrases into your own conversations. If you hear someone say, "I've been meaning to try that," write it down somewhere and make a deliberate effort to practice saying it yourself later. This habit will constantly refresh your vocabulary with real, modern, everyday English. To bring this section to a close, I want you to set a small, achievable goal for yourself for today. Choose just one phrase that you've learned here and consciously try to use it at least 3 times, either in real-life conversations or in your own speaking practice. In this way, it will become a part of your active English vocabulary, rather than just something that you recognize when you happen to hear it. One of the most valuable skills for reaching fluency quickly is the ability to describe things from memory. When you actively recall and describe an experience that you've had, you strengthen your capacity to organize your thoughts and ideas in English without relying on direct translation from your native language. Start with relatively simple events, such as a conversation you had, a meal you ate, or a place you visited, and then tell the story in as much detail as possible. For example, you could say, "Last Sunday, I went to my favorite cafe. I ordered a cappuccino and a slice of chocolate cake. The cafe was quite busy, and the sound of people chatting created a warm and friendly atmosphere. I sat by the window and watched the rain falling outside." This kind of mental replay is a perfect way to combine vocabulary, grammar, and storytelling skills into one effective exercise. You can also challenge yourself further by describing the same memory in different ways. First, try to keep it short and simple. Then, add more descriptive details. And finally, incorporate your feelings and opinions about the experience. This will train your flexibility in expressing your ideas in varied ways. For example, "I went to the cafe, then. I went to the cafe on Sunday morning and had coffee. And finally, I went to the cafe on Sunday morning, enjoyed a warm cappuccino, and felt completely relaxed while watching the rain outside." Doing this type of exercise every day will make your thoughts flow much more easily and naturally in English. Another beneficial habit to develop is the practice of making comparisons. This involves talking about the similarities and differences between two different things. For example, tea and coffee are both popular drinks, but tea generally has a lighter flavor, while coffee tends to be stronger and more bitter. Comparisons not only help you practice using adjectives and sentence structure, but they also provide you with more material to talk about, which helps you extend your speaking time. Let's try a quick comparison drill right now. Compare summer and winter. Summer is warm and sunny, and people tend to spend more time outdoors, while winter is cold and often snowy, and people usually stay indoors more often. Now, compare books and movies. Books allow you to use your imagination to visualize the scenes and characters, while movies show you the story visually, with all the details already created for you. You can do this with almost anything: food, cities, hobbies, and even people's personalities. It's also helpful to practice giving clear and concise explanations. When someone asks you a question, try to explain your answer instead of simply stating it. For example, if you're asked, "Do you like swimming?" instead of just saying yes, you could say, "Yes, I enjoy swimming because it helps me stay fit, and I enjoy being in the water, especially in the summertime." Adding explanations makes your speaking much richer and more engaging for the listener. And when you're explaining something, don't be afraid to use specific examples to illustrate your points. For instance, I think learning English through movies can be really effective because you get to hear real, everyday conversations. For example, I learned the phrase, "take your time," from a film, and now I use it regularly in my daily life. Examples give your listener a clearer understanding of what you mean, and they make your point significantly stronger. Another great way to boost your overall fluency is to play the "what if" game. Ask yourself hypothetical questions and then answer them out loud. For example, what if I won the lottery? If I won the lottery, I would travel the world, buy a house by the beach, and help my family financially. These kinds of imaginary situations encourage you to think creatively in English and use a variety of tenses and sentence structures. Finally, always remember that the key to speaking fluently in 30 days is consistent, focused practice. You don't necessarily need to spend hours practicing every day. Even dedicating just 20 to 30 minutes to concentrated speaking, listening, and thinking in English can lead to huge improvements. The more you integrate English into your everyday life, the faster it will feel like a natural and integral part of you. Another simple but powerful practice you can add to your routine is to retell something that you've heard or read in your own words. This could be a short news story, a conversation that you listened to, or even a scene from a movie. When you retell something, you're actively processing the information, reorganizing it in your mind, and expressing it using your own unique vocabulary. For example, if you read a short article about healthy eating habits, you could say, "The article talked about the numerous benefits of eating fresh fruits and vegetables every day. It explained that they provide you with energy, help your body stay strong and healthy, and reduce your risk of developing various illnesses." The article also suggested drinking plenty of water throughout the day. This exercise helps improve both your comprehension and your overall fluency at the same time. You can make it even more challenging by retelling the same information from a different perspective. For example, if the original article was written in the third person, try retelling it in the first person. "I make a conscious effort to eat fresh fruits and vegetables every day because they give me a boost of energy, help me stay strong and healthy, and reduce my overall risk of illness. I also make sure to drink plenty of water." This will add variety to your speaking and force you to adjust your sentences on the spot. A related habit that can be quite beneficial is summarizing your day before you go to sleep each night. You can say something like, "This morning, I woke up early, made breakfast, and went for a walk in the park. In the afternoon, I worked on my project and made a few important phone calls. In the evening, I relaxed with a book before having dinner." This not only establishes a daily speaking routine, but it also helps you remember and use vocabulary related to everyday activities. Another effective drill is opinion building. Choose a random topic that you find interesting, and then speak for 1 minute, sharing your opinion on that topic and providing clear and logical reasons for your viewpoint. For example, "I firmly believe that people should make an effort to read more books because reading improves focus and concentration, teaches you new information, and exercises your mind. In my opinion, it's much better than spending excessive amounts of time scrolling through social media." Practicing this regularly will help you develop quick, confident responses to open-ended questions. It's also helpful to combine opinion building with debate practice. Imagine that someone strongly disagrees with you on a particular topic, and then respond to their disagreement in a polite and respectful manner. For example, if someone says, "I think social media is much better than reading books because it's more interactive and entertaining," you could say, "I understand your point, but I believe that books offer a deeper level of knowledge and concentration that social media simply can't provide." This teaches you to remain calm, express yourself clearly and effectively, and use respectful language even when you find yourself in disagreement with someone else. You can also practice fluency by describing processes step by step. For example, you could describe how to make a cup of tea. "First, I boil some water in a kettle. Then, I place a tea bag into a cup. When the water is hot, I pour it into the cup and let it steep for a few minutes. After that, I remove the tea bag and add sugar or milk if I desire." Describing a process like this forces you to think in a logical sequence, which is incredibly useful for structured speaking. And never forget the importance of self-motivation. Every single day, remind yourself of the specific reasons why you want to speak English fluently. Maybe it's for better job opportunities, the ability to travel more easily, the chance to study abroad, or the opportunity to make friends from different parts of the world. Keeping that reason firmly in mind will give you the consistent energy and motivation you need to practice. Even when you feel tired or particularly busy. A fantastic way to strengthen your overall fluency is to practice describing images or scenes in detail. You can use photos from a magazine, pictures that you find online, or even things that you see around you in real life. Look at the image closely and talk about everything that you notice. For example, in this picture, there is a family having a picnic in the park. The parents are sitting on a blanket, smiling at each other, while their children are playing with a ball nearby. The sun is shining brightly, and there are several large trees visible in the background. This practice helps you observe details quickly and express them clearly in English. To make it even more challenging, try adding a short story to the image. I think this family came to the park to celebrate a birthday. They probably brought homemade sandwiches and drinks. The children look very happy. Perhaps because they don't often get the chance to play outside together. This forces you to use your imagination, which helps you practice a wider range of vocabulary and sentence structures. Another effective practice method is to set a timer and speak non-stop for 2 or 3 minutes. Choose any topic that comes to mind. Your weekend plans, your favorite food, or something that you learned recently. The main goal is to keep talking without pausing to translate or search for perfect grammar. If you can't think of the exact word that you want to use, simply use a simpler one, or try to explain what you mean. Over time, this exercise will build the important habit of speaking continuously, which is absolutely essential for achieving fluency. You can also improve your speaking skills by practicing with contrasts. Describe 2 different things, and then switch back and forth between the 2 descriptions. For example, in the city, life is generally fast-paced and noisy. People are always in a hurry. And there's traffic everywhere you look. In the countryside, however, life is slower and much quieter. You can often hear birds singing, and people tend to have more time to talk to each other. Switching between these 2 distinct descriptions trains your brain to quickly organize and articulate ideas. An equally important skill to develop is working on your listening memory. Listen to a short conversation and then try to repeat as much as you can remember. For example, if you hear someone say, "I'm going to the store to buy some vegetables. Do you need anything?" You could repeat, "You're going to the store to buy vegetables. And you asked if I needed anything." This improves both your comprehension and your recall abilities, which will enable you to respond more quickly and accurately in conversations. And finally, always remind yourself that fluency grows from consistent effort. It's not about having one long, perfect study session. It's about showing up every single day, speaking, listening, and thinking in English. Even dedicating just 5 or 10 minutes to focused practice each day can make a significant difference over time. In 30 days, you'll look back and realize how much more naturally and confidently you can express yourself. Another valuable technique you can incorporate into your daily routine is time-pressured speaking. This involves giving yourself a limited amount of time to answer a question or talk about a specific topic. For example, set a timer for 30 seconds and answer the question, "What did you do yesterday?" Then, increase the time limit to 1 minute while focusing on the same topic, adding more details and expanding upon your sentences. The time constraint forces you to think quickly, while revisiting the same topic allows you to explore new ideas and expand your vocabulary. You can also combine this with question cycling. Choose 3 different questions and then answer them one after another without pausing. For example, what is your favorite food? My favorite food is pasta because it's comforting, relatively easy to make, and I can easily change the ingredients to create something new each time. What do you usually do on weekends? On weekends, I like to wake up a bit later than usual. Go for a relaxing walk in the park and meet up with my friends for coffee. Where would you like to travel next? I would absolutely love to visit Japan because of its fascinating culture, delicious food, and incredibly beautiful scenery. Cycling through questions like this provides rapid practice and keeps your mind actively engaged in English. Another powerful drill is story chaining. Start with a simple sentence, and then keep adding details one by one, smoothly linking them together. For example, I went to the park. I went to the park yesterday afternoon. I went to the park yesterday afternoon to meet my friend. I went to the park yesterday afternoon to meet my friend because we hadn't seen each other in several months. This builds your ability to extend ideas naturally, instead of stopping too soon. It's also useful to practice spontaneously describing your surroundings. Wherever you happen to be, take a look around and start talking about what you see, hear, and feel. I'm sitting at my desk right now. There's a cup of tea sitting next to my computer. Outside, I can hear a car driving by. The room feels warm and quiet. Doing this regularly will train you to quickly form sentences about real-life situations, which is precisely what happens in a conversation. Don't forget to incorporate emotional language when you speak. Words like amazing, frustrating, peaceful, and exciting can make your speech much more colorful and engaging. Instead of simply saying, "The view was nice," you could say, "The view was absolutely breathtaking, and it made me feel incredibly peaceful inside." The more you use these kinds of expressive words and phrases, the more engaging your speaking will become for your listeners. To end today's practice, remember that achieving fluency in 30 days comes down to 3 essential components: speaking as much as possible, listening actively, and thinking in English whenever you have the opportunity. Every time you choose to use English over silence or your native language, you're taking a significant step closer to your goal. Keep showing up, keep practicing, and in just 1 month, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. Before we wrap up for today, I want you to take a second to really consider just how far you could actually go in 30 days if you dedicated yourself to this learning experience. It's not about being flawless or anything like that. What it's really about is consistently showing up day after day, talking a little bit more, doing a little more listening, and gradually allowing English to integrate into your life in a natural way. Even those seemingly insignificant moments really do matter. Think about ordering food, saying hello to a neighbor, or even just narrating your actions to yourself in English. These little moments compound and turn into solid habits. And ultimately, those habits are what pave the way to fluency. I want to encourage you to start challenging yourself, beginning right now, today. Speak to someone in English, even if it's just a single sentence. Listen to a short clip in English and practice repeating it aloud. Describe something you see around you with as much detail as you can muster. Keep stacking these small actions, one after another, day after day. You'll gradually see a real shift. Your confidence will grow. The words will come to you more easily, and you'll find yourself thinking in English more quickly. If you found today's lesson helpful and you're looking for more content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss any of the daily English language learning videos designed to guide you step by step on your journey toward fluency. And don't forget to hit the little bell icon so you'll get a notification each time a new lesson goes live. Thank you for dedicating this time to practice with me today. I'm genuinely proud of the hard work and effort you're putting into your English. Keep at it, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, take care, and remember to keep speaking English every single day.